Yo, what is going on, guys? It is me, TE Designs HQ, and this is gonna be my first commentary on this channel. I don't know if you guys have seen my other videos, my graphic design videos, and my funny moments video. I think there's two of them. Just go check them out. I'll leave the link in the description so that you guys can check them out. They're pretty good. But anyways, so today I'm gonna be bringing you guys a story that happened. 2 or 3 months ago, and it's pretty funny. It's about this kid who thinks he's a blood, and it's funny as hell because he's white. But anyways, I'm just gonna get on with the story. So, I came to school one day, and I started talking about some gangs and stuff like that because I used to have a family or a step family. They were black and they were Crips and stuff like that. And I would always just talk about how they were Crips so I could like show off and brag about it, which was really dumb of me because I shouldn't really be talking about that stuff at school because I don't know, I might say the wrong thing to some wrong people. But anyways, so I'm here at school, and then I say some shit, joking around, saying "fuck the Bloods" and "fuck the Crips" and whatnot. And then this kid, I'm gonna say his first name basis because I think that's what I'm just gonna do for the whole video and all my other videos. But this kid named Dakota turns around and he said, "What the fuck, nigga?" And I might just let you guys know, remind you, this kid is a white fat kid. This kid is like 5'8", like 280 pounds. And this kid turns around and he fucking looks like Riff Raff and some shit. Riff Raff's cousin. So, I mean, turns around and says, "What the fuck did you just say, nigga?" And I said, "Fuck the Crips and fuck the Bloods." And he's like, "Don't say that shit around here. We're Crips." And now you guys might be confused because I told you guys that he thinks he's a Blood. Now, let me get to that. So, and I'm just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't think you're a Crip." But he's like, "Oh, well, all of us over here are Crips and shit." And so I asked some of his friends, and then they're just like, "Yeah, we're all Crips." I'm like, "Okay, whatever. You guys are fucking liars, and you guys are just fucking playing around and shit, right?" So, within the next month, I decide to ditch my 5th hour class. So, I don't know where you guys are from. I don't know if you guys have like these periods where it's first through 7th period, and the 4th and 5th hour are lunch hours. I have 4th hour lunch, so my 5th hour is my English class. So I just decided to ditch it that day. So during 5th hour lunch, I started to hang out with these group of people because I only knew one person there, and her name was Alexa. But I don't think that she was there at the time, but I knew some of them pretty good. But I didn't really hang out with them. I would talk to them sometimes. So I'm sitting at the table, and I'm just sitting there walking around, and I finally confront Dakota, and I told him, I asked him, like, "Aren't you're wearing a lot of red lately, aren't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I asked him, like, "I thought you were a Crip." And he's like, "Nah, nigga, I'm a Blood." And I'm just like, "But a couple months ago, you just told me that you were a Crip." "No, I never said that." And then it just kind of went on with this bullshit, like, excuse saying that he said that he never was a Crip or saying that he's a Blood and shit like that. And I'm like, "Okay, so where are you from then?" And then he tells me this bullshit place. He says that he's from the Detroit area, from this fucking weird small town just right outside Detroit that only has an occupancy of like 2,000 people. I'm like, "Nah, man, you're fucking born here." But and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Maybe he is from there, but that still doesn't mean that he's a fucking Blood. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, "Okay, so what? Then show me your sign, because every gang member has a sign for their block or some shit like that." And I mind you guys, he doesn't even know how to do the Blood sign. He tried so hard to do it. I know how to do it. Practically anyone at my school knows how to do it, but he's the only one that can't fucking do it. It's funny as hell. So there's where he fucked up. So he just keeps on arguing with me and some shit. He tells me to shut the fuck up. I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna shut the fuck up because you're not a fucking Blood. I'm trying to prove to everyone saying that you're not a fucking Blood." And I know that it's wrong for me just to try to prove in some shit, But, it gets fucking annoying after a while because he keeps on saying this bullshit and all this shit. And then he brings his little goons or his little buddies, fucking Mexicans, over and tries to back him up. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, we're fucking yelling and arguing at each other just because he doesn't want to admit that he's not a fucking blood. And this kid is funny as hell. He wants to be black so fucking bad. It's funny as hell. He keeps on saying nigga. He keeps on saying what the fuck, and he just keeps on fucking screaming and shit like that. Then he's like, I'm about to fucking punch you in the face, and I literally drop my. I'm wearing a hat. I have glasses, and I'm wearing my backpack. I drop everything. I'm like, I'm standing here. I'm waiting for you, dude. Just please fucking do it. And then he just fucking turns his back and walks the fucking away. And then all you hear are the fucking people in the background, wow, what a fucking pussy, you just walked away like that. And I'm just like, shit, man. He thinks he's a fucking blood. And then I turn around and ask these chicks that hang out with him all the time, I'm like, do you think he's a blood? Because if he was a blood, he would be defending himself and probably pulled out a fucking knife on me, right? And then they were just like, no, he's not a blood. I know for a fact because I live with him. So, and I'm just like, shit. So, then he comes back to me, and then, I just start talking some more shit about how, like, he's not a blood, and then that my cousins are actually Crips, and in that you keep on talking shit about my family like that, you know, you're gonna get fucked up. And then he's like, nah, man, he said something like, I'm gonna take my fucking pistol to school, and then shoot him and fill him up with 9mm rounds. I'm like, bitch, you don't even have a fucking gun. Where the fuck would you get a gun? So I'm just sitting there, like, laughing my fucking ass off because I know for a fact that this is such bullshit. And then we have another fucking argument. And then he walks away and shit like that, and I called him out. I'm like, you're a fucking pussy because you're not gonna fucking do anything. So then he keeps on walking away, and so there's like this little two circles. I'm in the middle of one of them telling people what actually happened and what's going on, and then Dakota's over there talking mad shit, and then he has one of his friends, one of his Mexican friends, come over, and he's like, hey, what are you doing after school? I'm like, I'm gonna go home and take a fucking nap. That's what I'm gonna do. And I knew right at that point that he wanted to have a fight with me. And I'm not saying I'm pussying out and have, like, I told him I'm not pussying out because I just told you what I am going to do when I go after school. And I asked him, like, is he asking to fight me? Because I already knew the answer to that. And then he just head nods at me like, yeah, he wants to fight you. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm not actually about that life. Honestly, I don't really get into fights, guys. So that's just me. Yeah, but that's for another video. But, so, and I just told him, I'm like, well, when there's another day that I'm free, we can go ahead and fucking fight. Because one, I was going to go home, take a nap, and two, I had to let my sister in because she goes to these clubs after school, and we go to high school together. So I have to, like, pick her up and from school and then take her home and some shit like that. And so I was just like, you know, I have all these fucking plans to do after school, so why today and why not another day? And then he's like, only today, guy. He's like, only today. So I'm just like, well, that's not going to fucking work. So then he just walks away, and then that was pretty much it and some shit like that. So now I called him out on it. I come to school the next day, and then he's not wearing any fucking red, you know. He wore red every single fucking day of the week for the past 2 months. But the one day that I call him out, you know, he's not wearing red anymore. I never see him red anymore because now everyone fucking knows that he's not a fucking blood. Because if you were a blood, you'd be wearing red. Anything that has to do with red. Red underwear that has to sag your pants, red shoes, a red bandana, a red shirt, just whatever you have to do to show off your fucking colors, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that just shows to you that he's just a fucking pussy, and that when he gets called out, that, you know, some truth actually comes out, and that he is not a blood. So yeah, I was the only one that actually really said something about it because everyone else was too fucking scared. And I'm asking everyone, I'm like, why is everyone so fucking afraid to confront Dakota like this? And then my friend Armin, he was like, oh, it's because he's big and fat and he's taller than everyone here. I'm like, well, I just fucking confronted him. I'm a 5'7", just about his height, and I'm 200 pounds, so 80 pounds lighter than him. He could totally fuck me up, but he didn't. So I mean, honestly, like, what the fuck? But I think that's pretty much that's all that has to do with the commentary today. But I am gonna bring you guys another commentary on some funny shit, some live stories, and I think the next video has to do with drugs. Trying weed for the first time, and it's pretty fucking funny. And It's funny as hell, but that's for the next video. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and please, guys, let me know in the comments down below what kind of content that you guys want me to show you guys. Do you guys want Call of Duty, CS:GO? I can get my hands on that kind of stuff. Just anything. I don't mind trying out new games now that I have a job, so I can buy games and stuff like that. And just let me know in the comments below. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.